tonight, if we're going to focus our ministry time on how God can work things out in our life. How many of you guys are excited that God can work things out in your life? I know I am, and it's a great thing to know. Great verse, one of my favorite scriptures that is in the Bible as far as an encouraging scripture is found in Joshua 1, verse 9, which says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." How many of you guys are encouraged that wherever you go, God is with you? Now, some of you be like, maybe scared. Oh, that kind of freaks me out. And imagine if I had this guy following around and he's with me wherever I go. That could be kind of scary. Well, God's not like that. He's there to help us and to encourage and work things out that are going on in our life. It also says in the Word, before I knew my name, before I drew a breath, he was making ways for me. So now we can look at, now with every day and each and every step we make, we can know that God is with us wherever we go. When our heart is full of doubt, feel that our faith is running out, I've come too far to turn around, and I know. Those are some song lyrics from a song, God Will Work It Out, by Maverick City Music. That's a great song to get in your head and play over and over and get, God was speaking, because it was one of the ways that he speaks is through songs. It's through music and, of course, different ways of looking through things. But you look at the verses, and the first verse reminds me in that song reminds you of Psalm 139, verse 16. It says, "Your eyes saw my unformed body, all the days ordained for me written in your book before one of them came to be." It is a reminder to me that before I was even aware of my own existence, before I was even born, or any of us were ever born, God was setting things up and putting things in place for us. He knew that I was coming into the world in April of 1979, for better or for worse. Here comes Nigel. Yeah, and I probably scared a lot of people off. Isn't it interesting, his timing on that? By the time a problem comes our way, God already has an answer for us. We just have to trust him that he knows the answer. We are the ones who worry and stress because we can't see the way out. I told the story the other day on the Faith Talk show, or actually, last week's Faith Talk show, that I call it the WD-40 show. And when I was in Oklahoma in Bible school, one day when I came home from Bible school and I was getting ready for work, which I ended up having to miss that day, I accidentally left my lights on and my battery died. Well, I had a guy that lived in the same apartment complex that helped me to change my battery, but the problem came is he couldn't change my battery because my car was so rusted out, the different parts to get into the battery, that he said, do you happen to have any WD-40? And I lived in this apartment where basically my roommate ran, a lot of it was his stuff, and I was just kind of there. It was my first year, and we kind of shared it, but he had a lot of the main, things like that, towels, anything like that, were, in his, were kind of his thing. So I didn't know everything that was in the apartment. I don't have it. Maybe I said, well, maybe my roommate has it. So I go in there, we go back into the house, and I'm praying and stuff, and I feel the Lord tell me that it's in the towel closet. But being stubborn as I am, I kept thinking, no, that can't be. That doesn't make any sense. Why would WD-40 be in the towel closet? And finally, after 4 or 5 minutes of just arguing with God, I open the towel closet, and there is the WD-40 can sitting in front of my face, in front of one of the towels, nonetheless. All I needed to do was trust God, because God had the answer, but I wasn't listening to the answer. It says in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6, to trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will guide your path. Well, God was trying to guide me and direct me into the path and to trust him, but I wasn't having it. I was thinking in my own understanding that doesn't make any sense for WD-40 to be in with towels, and that was my reasoning for it. But God does, and God can. The problem isn't God, it's us being stubborn and us not listening. Just because we can't see the solution doesn't mean it's not there, and it doesn't look impossible. Doesn't mean that it won't happen. That's where faith comes in. It's not based on sight or what we can see or what we can figure out or seems logical to us or even what we know. Instead, it's based on who we know, which is God, and once we give it to Him, He is quite capable of working it out. If God, who created us, knows our days even before they come, can solve our problem, our solution, our trial, then there's something wrong. Think about it. The God who created us and knows us is coming to and it happened before it even goes, and his expectation and anticipation of what He's going to do. We may not always be able to tell Him how to do it like we love to do so many times, but we can trust Him that He'll accomplish it in the best way for us. And so we need to reach the point in life where it's God or nothing. I realize that only God can get me through those rough and tough times in my life. These situations where others may seem to be giving up, yet God hasn't said, I am staying put until He completes the job. He's actually a beautiful place to be resting in God. And I actually feel the stress melting away when I rest and trust in God that He is going to come through for whatever it is that I need. This is the point where I believe God and want to reach. He still has all the glory for Himself, because if we could do it, pride would step in and would fall. But when He does it, it's well done and He gets the glory. And so I encourage you tonight to trust God, whatever it is. Realize that whatever you're going through, God can work that situation out and take care of it. On that note, we are going to play the song where, well, be thinking and focusing on God. The original Beatles song, We Can Work It Out, which was a song written by Paul McCartney and John Lennon again. It was first issued as a double A-side single with Day Tripper in December of 1965. The song was recorded during the session for the band's Rubber Soul album. Now, Deep Purple again covered this album on their second album, The Books of Taliesin. And Deep Purple, I love them, and they have some great versions of Beatles songs. That wasn't just the only one. And in October of 1968, they did their version of this song, We Can Work It Out. And this was after they had praise from Paul McCartney himself of their version of Help. Paul McCartney really liked their version of Help, so they went on to record a version of We Can Work It Out. So check this out. Based off of what we're using for our ministry time today, where God can work things out. We Can Work It Out, the Deep Purple version, where Deep Purple covers the Beatles, right here on Retro Rock Live, an outreach ministry of Church on the Rock. Here it is, Deep Purple with We Can Work It Out.